Welcome back to yet another challenge video where we try to see how much of a bad guy Mario actually is. Because as we know, Mario is not a hero and he loves to attack and destroy enemies. Well, I don't like violence, and today I will try to make Mario look a bit better. The rules are simple. We are going to try to beat Super Mario Bros. 3 and all of this without attacking a single enemy. If that is not possible, then we'll attempt to beat the game with the least amount of acts of violence and casualties possible. At the end, we'll see how bad Mario actually was and if he needs to go to jail. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and let's just jump into it. Alright, so there are 8 different worlds in Super Mario Bros. 3, and well, my objective here is to try to clear the game without visiting them all. There's a couple ways to skip some levels in this game, and some of them involve using a warp whistle, which is an object that transports Mario in the sky. So getting this will be the first objective here. World 1-1 will be the first level we'll play, and well, not gonna lie, there's not much challenge here. Sure, there are a bunch of Goombas, Koopa Troopas, and evil piranha plants, but all of these enemies can be dodged without any issues whatsoever. We can even find a couple power-ups here that will prove to be helpful in the later levels. Speaking of, 1-2 is up, and well, this one was even easier. There's a bunch of hills and blocks all over the place, but the enemies are very scarce and easily avoidable. Alright, this next level, 1-3, will be quite important, and here's why. It features a special hidden end area located behind the curtains at the end. In order to get there, we have to hold down on the D-pad while we stand on this white block platform here, and if we do it right, we'll go straight through it. This Koopa Troopa was a bit of a pain to deal with, but I took damage and ended up doing it anyways. After that, we just need to run, and voila! Here is our first warp whistle. Since we're gonna be skipping most of the levels, we might grab a couple power-ups while we're here, so let's visit my friend Toad. Our next stop will be the fortress, in order to grab our second warp whistle. Basically, we need to play the level normally up until we get to this point here, and now all we need to do is to fly up there, which is easier said than done. Why? Well, because of this annoying dry bone over there. As we're trying to do a pacifist run, we cannot attack him, so we have to wait until he moves left and despawns, and then we can fly into the secret door up there. And now we have 2 warp whistles, so you know what's next? We use them both, one after the other. The first warp whistle brings us to the secret warp zone area, and using it a second time will bring us straight to World 8. Wow, now this is quite the skip. But here's the thing, now this is a world we actually have to play, and the levels are not that simple. First off, we need to explore the tank level. This place is actually insane, there's cannons everywhere. While some of them throw metallic cannonballs, which are inanimate objects, there's a lot that actually throw bombs, and these guys are alive, meaning that we cannot neutralize them. Eventually the bombs blow themselves up, but this is not Mario that is committing the violent act, so it doesn't count. There's also a bunch of rocky wrenches, you know, those annoying moles that throw wrenches your way. Well, not being able to jump on any of these things was a bit challenging, but I still made my way to the end and into the white pipe. And well, we now have to defeat a boomerang bro if we want to proceed. Yup, there is no way to avoid this, as this is the only way to clear the level. Looks like we're gonna have to attack this guy. Well, there we go. It had to be done. This is so sad. We now have committed one act of violence. Next up is yet another similar level, but this one takes place on a bunch of boats. The challenge remains pretty much the same. Rocky wrenches, cannonballs, bombs. I'm starting to get better at avoiding all of these things, so I once again made my way to the pipe at the end. And well, I think you figure out what's waiting for us down there. A fight, and this time it's against Boom Boom the Mad Lad, and well, as you guessed, we have to defeat him. The thing is, this dude takes 3 hits to defeat, adding 3 more acts of violence, which is a lot. I don't like that. The next part here is crossing the teleporter bridge. And well, this is kind of random. You can end up beating from 0 to 3 levels while moving from right to left. And you know what? I'm so lucky that I ended up getting grabbed right on the first one. Yay! There were lots of enemies to dodge here, but thankfully no bosses to defeat and no acts of violence to commit. Guess what? The second hand also grabbed me, forcing me to play another level. Alright. Final teleporter block, please be nice to me. I did it! Oh, it works. Alright, I'm complaining, but to be honest, each of these optional levels gave me a power-up, so it wasn't half bad. Alright, time for the next level, an airship level. I have a feeling we'll finish this stage with a boss to beat. The level in itself was kind of scary, forcing me to do crazy jumps above endless pits, but this was not a problem. After going down the white pipe, we come face to face with Boom Boom again! Alright, 3 more hits on the guy, 3 more acts of violence. I'm so unlucky! Alright, now it's time to actually play the classic levels, and hopefully these won't feature any more violence to deal with. A-1 is actually quite the challenging level. It features a bunch of Koopa Troopas, Bullet Bills, and even a freaking Boo. All of these creatures want a piece of Mario, and not being able to defend myself proved to be a bit difficult. This part here typically involves Mario jumping on a Paratroopa to get on top of this cannon there. But obviously, doing that is violent, so we can't really do it. This forced me to be a bit creative, and luckily, running super fast is all it takes to make our way on top of the cannon without resorting to violent deeds. Yay! A-2 was much easier, thankfully, because I know the secret trick to skip half the stage. You see this quicksand there? Well, it's actually friendly. Let it eat you, and you'll be able to enter a secret pipe to get close to the end of the stage. I just used my super leaf to fly to the end, and I did it. Let's go! Next up is a fortress level, which is probably the most annoying level ever. This one is like a maze. It's full of doors leading to nowhere. There's lava that can kill you at any moment, and it's just a frustrating experience, period. Luckily for this quest, it's also not a fortress that features a lot of enemies, allowing us to quickly get to the P-switch at the end to enter the door and get to, you guessed it, Boom Boom the Mad Lad. And well, now we're used to how many acts of violence we need to commit to unalive this poor dude. Say it with me, 3! Alright, here we go. This is the final stretch. And well, it starts with another one of these tank levels. Yay! Even more bob-ombs, more cannonballs, and more rocky wrenches to dodge. And obviously, it ends with a white pipe. And on the other side awaits Boom Boom! How many times do we have to kill this guy? I'm starting to be ashamed of hurting the guy, but also, why does he keep coming back? Don't you want a nice relaxing vacation at the beach, my dude? Stop fighting me! Guess what? It's time to enter the final castle, the very last level in the game. And well, it's also home of Bowser, the final boss. The level is actually full of evil things, but things that we cannot actually attack, like Bowser statues firing lasers, floating circles of doom, fireballs. These things are all annoying, but they cannot be defeated, so no violence will be done. Alright, let's enter the door and fight Bowser. Wait a minute. The way to defeat Bowser in this game is to make him break blocks to then fall into the pit. In a way, we don't even fight Bowser directly, he kinda digs his own grave. We are not committing any acts of violence, which is kinda neat. Well, there we go, the dude is dead, and it wasn't our fault, we didn't do anything, he just jumped in a pit. I mean, what could I do? Hey, Peach, I finally saved you. Are you happy? Depends. How many acts of violence have you committed, you monster? Well, let's quickly recap. Is it possible to beat Super Mario Bros. 3 without violence? Nope, it isn't. Even by using warp whistles to skip like 90% of the game, we still had to be quite violent. We had to defeat this lonely Boomerang Bros here with one hit, and then we had to defeat a couple Boom Booms in all of these levels full of cannons, rocky wrenches, and bombs. So that's one Boom Boom here, one there, one over there, and last but not least, this one. This brings the total to 5 casualties and 13 acts of violence. Oof, the princess isn't really happy about that. I'm sorry, Mario, but you'll have to go to jail for sure. Oh, well, would you look at that? Mario is behind bars now. The irony. Thanks a lot for watching this challenge video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more, and make sure to check out my weekly podcast that I started with Nathaniel Bandy. We discuss the news and it's pretty cool. You'll like it. Alright guys, bye!